Okay, let's look at this problem. It says the accompanying data table contains daily revenues for the past 350 business days earned from cell phone accessories sold at a local Verizon retail store in Delaware. Use the data to complete parts A through part E. So let's open the data table, and it wants us to use Excel to draw a systematic sample consisting of 14 days and then calculate the sampling error for the sample. So for 14 days, our formula to figure out how our sample or our systematic sample should be drawn is to compute K, which is the population size divided by the sample size. So for this particular problem, the population size would be 350 business days, and then the sample size is 14 days. So we would do 350 divided by 14, which is 25. So let me show you how we're going to do this in Excel. And I didn't mean to open in StatCrunch. I'm just used to opening. Let's actually use Excel. And so our sample is going to go, we'll let it go here. And we're going to go to data up here at the top. Make sure you can see that. And you're going to go to data analysis. And if you can't find where your data analysis button is, you should have a search bar, or you can search data analysis. But mine happens to be at the right side. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to find sampling and click OK. Now, your input range, what you want to do is, I've already put the input range, but I'm going to show you again. So what you're going to do is you're going to highlight all of your revenue values. Okay, I went a little too far. Okay, and then your period was going to be K is going to be 25, so you're going to put 25 there. Make sure you click on periodic first. And then your output range is just going to be your first sale. Let me see if I can get it to let's do output range would be this cell. And then we have our sample. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the side, and I'm going to have me a population mean. Now I'm going to have me a sample mean. And then I'm going to do my sampling error right over here, just to have me a spot where I can do that. So to get your population mean, you're going to do equals, and you're going to find the average, and then you're just going to highlight all of your population data just like we did a minute ago. And if you don't want to highlight, you can type in your cells. Okay, so I have my population mean. Now, if you look at the view and example, your view and example is going to tell you always what to round to. So, if you keep pressing continue, and it also tells you how to do this in Excel. But your mean, your population mean, they want you to round it to 2 decimal places, which is important. because your answer, you might miss it because of the rounding. So I need to round this to 2 decimal places. Now we're going to do our sample mean. We're going to do the average because mean is average. And then there is, now your sampling error is equal to your sampling mean minus your population mean. So your sampling error is 162.36, which is what I have. Now for the next one, 35 days, you would do 350 divided by 35, which would be 10. So what you can do to make this quick is do you another sample here, and this time everything's going to stay the same in your sampling, except your period is going to be, sorry, I'm yawning this afternoon, your period is going to be 10 this time, and your output is going to be this cell. Okay, so now we have to go over here, and our sample mean this time is going to be the average of these. We're going to highlight new cells. And press enter. So now it'll automatically calculate your sampling error, which is the sample mean minus the population mean, which is 124.13. Now, the next one is every 50 days, so 350 divided by 50 is 7. So another column, and this time we're going to do 7, and our output range is going to be E. Okay, now we don't have, remember our population mean is still the same. Our sample mean is going to be the average of our new sample, or the mean of our new sample, which is bigger. And this time our sampling error is negative 38.94. Now compare the sampling error. Notice that 162, the error is a little bit larger. 124, it's getting smaller. And then negative 38.94 is still small because it's smaller than the one before. You can think about the distance from 0. The error is still smaller than it was previously. So compare the sampling error in general. Increasing your sample size makes the magnitude of the error smaller. And you can see that the magnitude of the error, you're only off by 38 units, maybe smaller than, but it's still closer to the mean than the 2 before. Now, what problems might be encountered with the sample obtained in Part C? Well, in Part C, we're doing every 7 days. So that would be once a week. And what we run into is if Verizon, that once a week could fall on a Sunday, well, sales might be lower on a Sunday than during the week or on a Saturday. So we could run into a problem with periodicity where the average Sundays are going to not represent the population average. but we didn't here because the sample mean is still pretty close to the population mean. So it's not the presence of periodicity in the sample might lead to a sample mean being smaller or larger than expected, but it didn't occur here because, as we can see in our problem, let me scroll back up here, the sampling error continued to get smaller and smaller, which is what we would expect if our sample got larger. So let's say this number would have been 200, then our sampling error is way higher than it should be, and that could be a result of periodicity. It could be what happened was we're pulling every seventh day could be Sunday, and so now our average is way lower than the population, and our sampling error would be a lot larger. But mainly, I just wanted to show you how you do this in Excel and how rounding is really important, especially on the homework. You really have to sometimes view an example and see step by step what are they rounding to, just to make sure that you're working it and rounding the way the homework is requiring you to. But just let me know if you have any questions on this.